Alright, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Chupacabra's lair. I'm your host, Larry, the adorable slime Chupacabra here today, and we're going to be checking out the beta version of Slime San, which is a game that's coming out around April 12th, and it's made by Fabraz Games, which is the company that also made the Planet Diver game, which I checked out an eternity ago. And they are back with another cute and adorable sort of platforming game where we try to escape the intestinal tract of a giant hungry worm. I don't know about you, but I tend not to like getting digested, but there's really no other option for us. Like, we've got to get eaten, and now we have to climb our way through this worm to try and escape. All while enjoying the local slump town, which is an interdigestive tract melting pot of various creatures where we can buy things like skins using in-game currency. So essentially our goal is we've been swallowed by the worm, as I mentioned, and we want to crawl our way back out through to the mouth. And I guess I can understand our cute little slimy friend's problems with that. I mean, I certainly wouldn't want to be, you know, eaten and then pooed out by a worm. If I could all go back out through the opening that I went into, well, that would make the whole thing a whole lot more convenient. So we do that by wall jumping, like I'm showing here. We can also turn into our little osmosis form to get through these little spongy barriers that you see, like those green sort of lattice structures. And the funny thing about our little osmosis form is it actually slows time a little bit for us, so that we can sort of anticipate what obstacles are coming our way a little bit faster. And of course, anything that's red will murder us. That's basically the gist here. Also, you might have noted that there's a little timer constantly ticking down, and if we don't get through this level in a certain amount of time, the worm's digestive gastric juices start to work their way back up into each one of these rooms and threaten to digest us as sort of like a built-in timer to each of these rooms, sort of like what you would expect from a game like Mario. And I'm currently sliding my way trying to get this piece of apple that is in this wall. And these little apples are the premium currency that you can gather that will allow us to buy really fancy premium stuff. And we got 2 out of the 4 from these first couple of levels. And once you've got those, you can then take those and use them to buy skins. Pretty much the only reason I can think of to try and do that, but you know. And then each one of these starter levels obviously is trying to teach you the various mechanics of the game, like how to hug walls and flip-flop on the ceiling, if that's, you know, sort of your thing, I guess. But I've already kind of gotten a grasp of the more advanced mechanics, so I'm not too worried about all of that. I'm just going to wibble-wobble my way through here. I've already gotten that apple earlier because I'm a fancy-pants McGillicuddy. And we'll just have a great old adventure, exploring the world of Slime San. And I will say, this kind of reminds me of Edward McMullen's first game. Spewer, you know, the guy that made, was that the guy that made, not the guy that made The Binding of Isaac, but the guy that made Super Meat Boy, I believe, made the game that's free out on Newgrounds, which is called Spewer, and it's the story of a cute little slime critter that's very much trying to do something similar and schliff their way through a laboratory environment full of obstacles using pills in a kind of portal-esque way to get to safety. And it turns out that that particular character was being created to save the scientist's son. And all those obstacles were designed to teach the little infectious amoeba how to combat a virus. So that's kind of cute. And I get a kind of similar vibe to this game. Although in that kind of creepy getting eaten by the whale in Pinocchio sort of way, where you gotta burn parts of the boat in order to get it to spit you up and all of that. Oh wait, I wanted that apple. Give me that apple that was in there. Oh, dang it, I'm trying to cheat in this level because this is technically supposed to be before they teach you how to use your dash ability. But I'm a cheaty doodle dandy. Yes, sirree, Bob. But that's fine. I can just dash my way to infinite victory. Boop. Ba-doo, ba-doo, doo, doo. I gotta say, this game plays pretty well. Like, I'm not used to a lot of platformers that immediately grab me right off the bat with their slightly tormenting gameplay style, while also giving you some somewhat rewarding platforming mechanics at the same time. Like, there's just something really satisfying about getting a perfect threading the needle maneuver where you thread the needle via your slime jumping ability to dash forward right in the nick of time. Especially considering that this game is all about managing your time so you don't explode or get digested. While also making sure you get all of these juicy apples to spend on things. And ooh, this is a giant bag of dicks, this level. So yeah, there's a sort of interplay here. They immediately throw wall jumping at you because they want you to wibble wobble your way through these various obstacles immediately. And I kind of like that. I like a game that acknowledges that there are certain mechanics that a lot of people are used to at this point, like wall jumping or, say, dashing across the terrain really fast, like you're kind of doing like a ninja speed jump or something. So that I certainly can get down to clown with. I'm not gonna bother with that apple, because I'm not really a completionist guy. Although you do need like, oh, I don't know, 40 apples to buy one skin, so you're gonna need to get a lot of them in order to buy anything cool in the store, which is fine. I certainly don't have any qualms about that. But that is kind of a high number. You'd think you'd give me some, like, poopier skins in the game that I can start out with before you try to get me to spend money on every little thing, you know? You feel me? So let's see, I want to get past here without touching any of these little red jobbies. And you know, this is a very simple way of handling, like, what will murder you and what won't in the game. Whereas a lot of other games try to, like, subtly tell you in the background of the terrain that there's spikes or something on the walls, this game just says, if it's red, it'll make you dead. And that's all that there is to it. And if it's green, it's probably something to do with your slime powers. Perhaps you should take a moment and explore that. What could that possibly mean, Larry? Like having to duck through these little spongy balls as they try to murder my face. How very rude. And I got that apple, and we're getting out of here with our loot intact. Now, something I found has been very critical in this game's design has been the advent of slowed time when you turn into this little see-through version of your character. Because otherwise, it would be very hard to time some of these maneuvers. They're very clutch, very high speed, very MLG Pro, like grabbing that apple. Well, not completely, but enough to be annoying if you're not paying absolute attention to what's going on around you. Like that right there. Like, that was just kind of difficult to try and avoid that little red ball of, I think it's mucus, but don't quote me on that. Okay. Yeah, it looks like this game is also built around the idea of having it be compatible with people like your friend Larry, who, while I'm not a Twitch streamer, I am a YouTube Chupacabra. And one of the key facets of this game is they do have challenges for people that like to do things like speed running, or timed trials, or simply being the fastest person in the world to complete a certain section of this game. Which I think is pretty fair. Like, you gotta anticipate in a platformer that people are going to compete doing things like that, and plan accordingly. And I think that's more than fair in this day and age. I certainly wouldn't design a game specifically around being YouTube fodder. Ooh, and there's little critters now, too. And they is mean. They is mean. Where do I go in here, anyway? Oh, the little batsies are trying to get us. I don't want to. Don't touch my gibbles, Batsy, or Slime Slugs Mackenzie. That's just being rude. Can't have none of that. Oh, yeah, so there's like friendly critters that are green and slimy, like they're a natural part of the slime ecosystem. And then there's the little red guys that might be like little parasites inside the worm's stomach. That's kind of cool. I kind of like that. That's a nice little delicate touch from the Fabraz team. You know, I might have to try and get the Fabraz guys in here for an interview not too long from now. See what they've been up to. I mean, obviously they came up with the idea for this game, and it's cute, a little wacky at times, but I think it's pretty simple and straightforward. At least enough to be entertaining in the extreme. It kind of reminds me of like a mixture of Super Meat Boy and Spewer, but with just a neon-colored cartooniness that you wouldn't necessarily expect from these types of games. And you definitely need something of that variety to really set your game apart in this day and age. Otherwise, you're just gonna kind of end up being a little bit SOL. And this certainly has charm, like it's got a lot of character to it, which I will showcase after we beat this next little subsection of the game. No. Dang it. I'm trying to time this moving platform, but it's not quite working out the way that I had intended. Yeah, so this game also has like a cute little town in it, where there's like a whole ecosystem or economy of other creatures that have kind of moved in here, so that they could try and survive. Which is certainly something. I will give them credit for that. You gotta give credit where credit is due, or else you might explode. Or you might get juiced on this floating platform. One of those things will happen. Alright, you know what? Screw it. We're just gonna go for broke. Come on. I guess you can only dash once in midair in order to try and make the jump. There we go, and then, nope, Larry wants to live, dang it. Larry wants to live. There we go. Stay away from me, you little floaty murder stars. We are not friends. And here it is, the clutch. Oh, we made it, yes. All right, you guys, now you're just being mean to Larry. What is this shenanigans, all right? You just need to settle it down, Fabraz team. Now you're just trying to torment me with this. Just completely. Maybe not. Maybe a little. I'm gonna go with a little bit. I need that big one, I think. Let's hop on that. Good news is they gave us plenty of time for what is essentially a very simplistic room. We'll hop up here and then break through that block, and we are almost to the next phase of levels. So something that's worth noting in this game is that each level has got 4 to 5 different levels that are attached to it as complementary sort of stages. So each level is a group of levels. And there's a whole bunch of them. So if that's like 4 to 5, you've got something like, like 400 levels plus some bonus levels that I've unlocked because I'm a beta tester. At least that's the technical mode that I'm in as a YouTuber. And so let's check out some of the rest of the game while we're here. So the other components are, you've got the settings, and something I was very curious about in this game is they actually have a very comprehensive colorblind mode. So you've got Prototonia, Tonopia, Deuteranopia, Tritonopia. Basically, all the major colorblind modes here, you can hot swap between them to see if one of these will help you out as opposed to the default, because red and green colorblindness, I believe, is fairly common. So it's good to see that they have a lot of consideration for people that might have those problems, because if red and green is the core of your game, that's a fair number of colorblind people who can't enjoy it. Now, the other thing that they've got in this game is they've also got a house that you can visit, back at your own home, like you're one of the siblings of Slime Sand, and you can actually kind of hop around here and explore this house and meet all of Slime Sand's neighbors that he sort of left behind when he got captured. Although this little slime doesn't appear to do the bouncing very well. Come on, do the thing. Do you not jump? Huh. Well, basically, you can kind of find a bunch of different characters in this game that you can talk to. Like, this guy is a manga-obsessed shut-in. Certainly not like my friend Anders, who is obsessed with the animes, and I make fun of for being a weeaboo all the time. And then you've also got, like, a little house here, where you can jet up to the top floor and activate a disco party. I don't really know what the point of this little homestead area is, other than just to provide you with some flavor and story to the game. But it exists, and I think it's kind of cute. And then the other thing that we've got here, if we go back to the level select, we can also go to this little slump town to go shopping. And who has ever said to themselves, I would love to go shopping in a worm's stomach? So here we can purchase some different costumes for our character. Like, we could make ourselves look like a big Uggo slime. Or we can make ourselves look like a little evil eye patch slime or a worm. Or we can activate this. And they all have a little bit of a different power that they give you. Like this guy, the eldest San of the family. He doesn't jump quite as high, but he does a dash, or a better dash. This is Daughter San, and she can jump twice but can't dash like we saw earlier. And this frog walks faster but falls faster. So not only now that I'm seeing and reading their descriptions, are they like a cosmetic change, but they're also an ability change, which is interesting. That's kind of neat. And then we've also got... I can't quite tell what this is. Is this background art? A wallpaper? I'm not sure. Being inside a worm inspired me to whatever. So this is the side art for the game, and I'm going to change it to this. And you can kind of customize your game, which is neat. That's always a nice thing, especially when it's not tied to some type of premium currency, which has really been trolling the pants off of people lately. And let's see, what are these? Oh, this is a huge town, actually. I didn't realize this was such a big area. Let's go to the financial district of the town. Okay, so there's like a proper little city in here I didn't see before. We can deposit food in our bank. And this hippo totally will, is the most trustworthy bank, not only because he's the most, reputable bank, but because he's the only bank. That's kind of cute. Yes, this is a huge area that offers different challenges. Like, it looks like they've got different daily challenges and times to beat from the rest of the community. So yeah, this stuff ain't too bad. Like, I think that's kind of cool. But that more or less wraps this up for this round, everybody. I've been your host, Larry the Chupacabra. We've been checking out some Slime Sand today, which is a platformer all about being a cute little slime monster who's trying to escape all of these very many voluptuous levels of murder, trying to get out at level 99. Which, I don't understand what's happening here, but the ground is glowing in really evil ways, and I'm a little bit concerned for my well-being. Let's see, can I smash this? I can. Wow, this is full of a bunch of different stuff. I got a lot of ways to go in this game, and there's keys and locks and stuff. This is probably the most high-tech worm that I've ever been eaten by. But yeah, that's it for this one, ladies and gentlemen. I've been your host, Larry. This has been Slime Sand. You can check this game out for yourselves. It's coming out on April 12th. I think it's around $6-ish. Let me double check that. It is going to be released for... Where did I see? I could have sworn I saw a price number in this email, but I guess not. Well, I can't imagine it's going to be supremely expensive, but it's certainly worth your dollary dues. check it out on Steam. I will link to the Steam page, but again, this game will not be available until April 12th. But I certainly think that this is worth your time and your dollars, so give it a try. Until next time, I've been your host, Larry the Chupacabra. Do those likey, subscribey things, and I'll catch you next time. Bye, everybody, and have a good one.